As you can see right now, I am Zack. This is Kendall. We got a little mediator here, Jeffrey. We started this show just to kind of, in the gym we discuss a lot about sports, and that's something that we want to obviously continue going virtually and just talk sports. So for today, we're going to talk about the NBA, and the season would have ended around this time, so we're going to discuss all the different awards involving with the NBA. And Jeffrey, why don't you go ahead and start us off, man?
All right. Say the season ended on time, who would be the Rookie of the Year?
You want to take this one first, or?
I'll jump in. I think for the club kids who come, everybody knows I'm a Duke fan. So I obviously have to go with my guy Zion Williamson. I mean, how can you not? You have to take a look at the impact this young man made when he came onto the team. 19 games played, 23.6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 2 assists, but that's not what we're looking for. But here's the big part. All in under 30 minutes a game. This young man was averaging 24, 7, and 2 on 60% field goal shooting in under 30 minutes a game. He was on a minute restriction, a cap. They weren't going to allow him to go any farther. Listen to this. Without Zion Williamson, Pelicans, 17 and 28.
Sure.
With him, in the lineup, and this minutes restriction, 11 and 8, winning record, on their way to claiming that 8th playoff spot. He only had 4 of those 19 games under 20 points. He wasn't playing 30 minutes a game. 30 minutes, he wasn't. And within those 18 games that he did play, 19 games, 10 were against playoff teams. Teams either vying for playoff spots or already in the playoffs. How can you tell me that man isn't deserving of the Rookie of the Year?
Well, I'll tell you why. Just because he didn't play the whole season. Simple as that. I mean, that's a factor when you're Rookie of the Year. You have to play the whole season, I feel like. He only played 20 games. He hasn't hit that proverbial wall yet, which my man Ja Morant still hasn't either, and he played over 56 games. And here's his stats, actually. Yeah, not as many points as Zion, only 17.6. Maybe not as many rebounds, but he's 13th in the league in assists, 6.9 right now, okay? And he's also averaging almost a steal a game, okay? And not to mention, I don't know, I feel like when you look at the team structure, Memphis doesn't really have quite the firepower like the Pelicans do. I mean, the Pelicans kind of got some help there, so, I can see why they're going to do well with Zion, because Zion's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he didn't play the whole season. I mean, he's only played 20, not even 20 games. What, 19? Yeah, 19 games. So
Under 30 minutes a game, Zach.
I mean,
under 30 minutes. This young man had a streak of, I believe it was 10 games of 20 points or more.
I can't deny how good he is.
I understand there's no
He didn't
wall.
play the whole season, though.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. We were robbed of seeing what could have been.
We were. Absolutely. I get that. I know we were robbed.
Memphis was coming into playing the toughest schedule. The Pelicans were coming into playing the weakest, and they were making that push.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to give it to Zion.
I think they both would have made. Both would have made the playoffs. I think what? Grizzlies were at 7, I think, and then the Pelicans were fighting for that 8. So
Portland, I believe.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I look at all the games, and Ja Morant played them all, and Zion didn't. So that's the big factor for me. And not to mention, I think there's such a high ceiling on Ja Morant. I mean, we know Zion athletically is gifted, but the things I've seen against Ja when he played against the Lakers that one time, dropped 30 on him, incredible. But nonetheless, I mean, either one could easily be the Rookie of the Year. But if you ask me, gotta play all the games. Gotta play all the games.
Agree to disagree. I'm a homer. I'm going to go with my Duke guys, but I will say, I can't imagine seeing these 2 young men on the same court on an AAU team.
Oh, my
Can't
God.
believe they didn't do more.
And did you hear about this other gentleman? I don't even know his name, but apparently this guy was the number 1 option on that AAU team, and they were the number 2, number 3. Did you see that? Zion talked about that. He said, I don't remember the guy's name.
Don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. There's no way. But, all right. Next question, Jeff.
Next question, who would be the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA?
I'll take this one first, because it should be no question that it's Anthony Davis. No question. I mean, when you look at his stats alone, I mean, he's 2nd in blocks right now, okay? He has 2.4 blocks a game. And he's also 15th in steals for a big man. That's impressive. I mean, I think there's only one other big man that is higher than him right now. And not to mention he's also averaging, 26.7 points a game, which obviously that's offensive, but you got to think about it. This guy's averaging nearly 27 points a game and still doing these amazing defensive stats. I mean, 17th in the league in rebounds. I mean, it's just, and not to mention the record. I mean, the record is great, and he is the defensive anchor for that team. When you saw what happened last year with the Lakers, they were probably, 28th in defense last year, and now they're arguably the best defensive team right now. I think they're number one, aren't they? They're either top three.
I'm not trying to hear
But
that.
you see the difference, though, when he shows up.
I'm trying to hear about last year's stats. They were a different team last year. They weren't as big last year. When you look at the Lakers, we can talk about him being a defensive anchor all you want. They can run a lineup out there with LeBron at 6'8" at the point guard. Oh, they're going to, if they wanted to, in today's new NBA, you can pretty much play zone. They can take up the entire floor. I expect nobody to score on the Lakers. The real defensive player of the year, reigning defensive player of the year, the Stifle Tower, my man Rudy Gobert. Of course. He comes in, I don't even have offensive stats on my sheet. We're not talking offense, we're talking defense. 13.7 rebounds a game. Not as many steals, I will say that. Less than a whole steal a game.
Less blocks.
But he comes in at 2 whole blocks a game. And again, he is the biggest reason and defensive anchor on the Jazz. They have no other interior presence. So yes, 2 full blocks, but that doesn't count the amount of shots that he actually gets in the way of and makes them change. I also had right here, he can guard 1 through 5. I'm sure Anthony Davis can too, but he's not asked to as much as Rudy Gobert is. They're going to attack the paint. If they can pull Rudy Gobert out of the paint against the Jazz, it creates inside opportunity. So I got to say, Rudy Gobert, and Jeffrey, you know where we're going with this, right? Corona. My guy shut down the whole league. So you can't tell me Rudy Gobert is deserving a defensive player.
If you base it on that, then I'll give it to you. But we're not basing it on that. We're basing it on season stats, and stats don't really lie when it comes to blocks and steals, which AD is ahead of him in. So I mean, I guess we have to agree to disagree on that one as well. I mean,
Alrighty.
what you got for the next one?
Next question. Who would be your most improved player of the year?
That's a tough one. That's really is.
This is a tough one, and we had some discussions about this one. And there's the obvious, you got your Sabonis's, your Brandon Ingrams. But I think we both agreed that they were on some teams that had some help and expectations coming into the year. So my choice was Bam Adebayo for most improved player of the year. You're talking about a guy who was averaging somewhere around 12, 13 points a game last year. They being the Miami Heat. Sharpshooters all around, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. They bring in Jimmy Butler. So you expect that Bam, being a power forward, being somebody who didn't really have the ball as much, to fall backwards. In 65 games, my man averaged 16.2 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 16, 10, and 5. And he turned himself into an all-star. I think he saw what happened in Minnesota with Jimmy Butler, saw Jimmy come to town and said, I don't want to get called out, I don't want to be that guy, and this is what you get. Somebody who's hungry. He's young, I believe he's 21, maybe 20 years old, second or third year out of Kentucky. This kid's promising. And when you pair him